Okay. See, I'm Muslim, and I think you already know that. But and then see, in Islam, Jesus is accepted, but he's not like the Superman. He's like the Clark Kent. So is it reasonable? Is it possible to hold the claim that Jesus did exist, but those other those things that would make him Superman, like the resurrection, the ascension, the what you may call the divinity, all that, the Son of God, Trinity, all that. Would you say that was added later on? And then wouldn't it make more sense to put it in my own analogy, using your analogy? Because Jesus was the Clark Kent, and then eventually he evolved into the Superman. Is that a feasible? Is that a reasonable thesis? Or
well, things like that have happened. In fact,
because I do believe there was a historical Jesus. So
it does. The reason I think that that has not happened in the case of Jesus, but rather that he began as conceived as a heavenly deity and who never came to earth. And actually, the progress went in the other direction. He became humanized later. The reason I think that rather than that he was a historical individual that became a god, much like Ali, what was he, the nephew and adopted,
the fourth caliph of Islam.
Yeah, there are quasi-Muslim sects to this day that believe that he is the incarnation of Allah, or even a member of a trinity of incarnate versions of Allah. Now, we have every reason to believe that Ali existed, and that in his life, one story says that in his own lifetime, people were worshiping him, and that he said, "Hey, look, I never said this. I don't buy it," and he executed somebody that was spreading this heresy, and the others who believed it said, "Well, who but a God would have the authority to do that?" It's just like in Monty Python's Life of Brian. Only the true Messiah denies his divinity. Well, so that can happen, but with Ali and various Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, these people, Cyrus of Persia, they left as they like to say today, a footprint in secular history. Like Caesar Augustus, also called the Son of God, the Savior, etc. He miraculously born and became a god. He is tied up with Roman history. There's no way there was no Caesar Augustus. There's no way there was no Cyrus of Persia. There's just too much that ties him to the historical continuum. Just, military history, political stuff, and so forth. But with Jesus, there is not. Now, it seems at first that there is, because, didn't Herod the Great try to kill him? Didn't Pontius Pilate, who was well known to history, didn't he condemn him to death? Didn't Caiaphas, the high priest, condemn him? They've even found Caiaphas's tomb. There's no doubt that he existed. Herod Antipas, we know a lot about him. Archelaus, mentioned in Matthew, sure, he existed. But scholars long ago, with no interest in the Christ myth theory, leveled really damning criticisms against those stories taken as history. The attempt of Herod the Great to kill the infant Jesus is really crisscrossed with improbabilities and absurdities. Actually, there are two different versions within the nativity story of what the Star of Bethlehem is, and just all kinds of narrative implausibilities. Like, why didn't the angel tell all the other parents in Bethlehem to get their kids out of the way? It's just paper characters in the story, and the whole thing seems transparently based on Josephus's version of the Nativity of Moses in various details. I guess it could have happened. We know Herod the Great was a paranoid, murdering tyrant. This would have been in character, but that points both ways. We have a catalog of his atrocities from ancient writers. This isn't one of them. Caiaphas, there's confusion in the Gospel of John about how long the high priests reign. He has more than one high priest at the same time. The trial narrative of Jesus is utterly implausible. His capital trial takes place on Passover Eve. This is like the Pope skipping Christmas Eve Mass to attend a trial. It just wouldn't happen, and so on and so on. Pilate, well, I say we know a good bit about him because he outraged Jews every chance he got. He was a real anti-Semite. Would he have bent over backwards to try to rescue Jesus from the wrath of the mob, and then found himself unable to? He's intimidated by a bunch of pool hall rowdies in the street. It just is impossible. It seems utterly implausible as history. And so at the very points at which you think Jesus might be attached to secular history, the connections dissolve. They're no less legendary. So there could have been a Jesus, but it just seems to me there is really no solid reason to think so.
Well, my thesis is possible, right?
It's possible. I just think I find it implausible, but it's not absurd. I don't mean to say that.
Oh, okay.